He stood there, soaking wet and sputtering, while his boat floated away from him down the Eridan River in pieces.
I'd give my sharpest bronze dagger to see that silly human trying to leave Elysium on a felucca.
Have you visited my mother recently, and given her my love?
Always. The meteor sends her love in return.
Well, I'd better get back. Elysium won't rule itself. Do keep an eye out for me. I sense trouble brewing in paradise.
I was starting to think you'd never get here. You can't waste time if you hope to break Persephone's control over the gate to the underworld. You might be playing both sides with Persephone and Adonis, but I know where your true motives lie.
Is that so?
Unfortunately, no one passes through the gate to the underworld without Persephone's permission, which she has never given. Ever. Luckily for you, as the goddess of crossroads and keys, locked doors happen to be my specialty.
Are you saying you can get me through the gate?
I'm saying I can help you bypass Persephone.
What's in this for you? You still haven't told me.
I'm not asking for your blind trust. Let me prove our goals align. This unlocks the door to Persephone's hidden sanctuary. She keeps all of her most intimate possessions there, stowed away from her husband. Among her treasures is a journal rumored to contain information you desperately need about the gate. Bring it to me as soon as you can.
I'll go get the journal.
The sooner you bring me it, the closer you are to leaving Elysium. Don't waste any time.
This is it. See if Agati's key works. Then, find that journal. This journal is missing pages. Hope Hecate still wants it. I'm not sure how stealing Persephone's journal will help me open the gate to the underworld, but here it is.
Stealing Persephone's journal wouldn't help us. But stealing the journal that belonged to the gate's locksmith will.
Who's the locksmith?
It doesn't say. Looks like a lot of pages were torn out. Now be quiet while I read. Well, that was illuminating.
So? What does it say?
Oh, so eager. The location of the gate is not revealed. But so long as Persephone controls Elysium, you need her permission to pass through it. Which you will never get.
But if she loses control of Elysium?
She loses control of the gate. You need to undermine her influence any way you can.
And how do you suggest I do that?
Your alliance with Adonis is a good start. His head-on tactics are a little obvious for my taste, but in time, he will wear down Persephone's forces.
What about our alliance? Where do you come in?
I know all of Persephone's weaknesses, and I'll direct you to them when the time is right. Until then, you'd be wise to spend some time with Persephone's lapdog, Hermes. Learn to use that staff. You'll need a divine weapon in the land of gods.
Keeper, you found my workshop after all. I know it may not look like much, but it's home.
I told you. You can call me Kassandra.
In front of the staff? Pah. But I'm glad you came. There's much to show you in this great land.
I thought Elysium honored heroes. I even thought this is where I'd want to come one day. But this land isn't great. It's just... haunted.
Pah. Persephone has endowed this land with a beauty only she could provide. Let me convince you. Walk with me.
Maybe you're right. I need to clear my head. Where to?
I consider myself a keymaker. One of my keys might interest you.
What do you do in your workshop?
Invent. All of reality's secrets are hidden behind doors. My inventions act as keys that unlock those doors.
You reveal the secrets behind them.
Ah, you're as wise as Pythagoras. But why discuss what we can see for ourselves?
Let's go.
Observe. Way up there. Persephone's first key. If only you could have seen it when it was new.
It seems like most of Elysium is in ruins. What happened?
This place is beautiful, as are all of Persephone's creations. But it is a world that changes at her whims. When I see decay, I know she needs us at her side more than ever. Look there. Imagine all the heroes who have passed through those golden fields, basking in the glory of eternal peace. Each thinking they'd see nothing more beautiful, only then to set eyes on Persephone.
Let's go.
Look there, Keeper. That encampment is the site where Hephaestus built a home for Aphrodite.
Doesn't look like much now.
It stood tall until Aphrodite met their child Adonis. His ability to wreak havoc with a wink and a smile is second to none. cave leads to a key I built for the staff. Consider it our secret. The keymaker and the staff keeper. Friends bound by mysteries.
The knowledge of the gods should be useful in the underworld. What happened to me in there?
Imagine for a moment, inside you, inside all of us, are parchments twisting like ribbon. On those parchments is written the story of who you are, who you were, and who you will become. Does that make sense?
Like everything else here, I don't understand any of it.
Let's call it the fates then. Your fate is predetermined, but what you experienced in there was a key I built that can unlock it and allow you to control it. I've built many.
Thank you. I'm not used to doing this on my own. On the Adrestia, I had Varnavas as a guide.
Ah, well, I hope it's a long time before I meet him here. I'll leave you to your adventuring. You're welcome to come back to my workshop anytime.
Here, Hermes. You look concerned.
I'm worried about Persephone.
Persephone can look after herself.
She's incredible. I agree, but these are strange times. I've heard that some ungrateful delinquents plot against her.
These ungrateful delinquents, could they be right?
Bah, you give them too much credit. Still, Persephone needs protection.
Don't look at me.
There's a friend of mine and your father's, Kyros of Xarax. He's a strong and honorable warrior. He's been abducted, but if we could free him...
You're suggesting we make a human Persephone's bodyguard?
With Kyros at the ready, the humans will think twice before attacking one of their own.
How do you know this, Kyros?
He was an aide, of sorts, to your father. Every great painter needs a hand to crush their pigment. That was Kyros, a warrior.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were in love with Persephone.
No one understands her the way I do. Adonis, she's a cruel despot. To her husband, she's a trinket on his arm.
And what do you see?
Me? Oh, I don't know. I've never had anyone ask me before. She's... everything.
Say no more. I'll find Kyros for you.
Ah, I knew I could trust you. While you're gone, I'll arrange a meeting with Persephone. Bring Kyros to the heart of Elysium. We'll be there.
They won't ask any questions. Let's keep out of sight.
You have the stuff?
Kyros of Xarax. Hermes sent me.
That keymaker is predictable. I'll give him that much. So, how do you get that stuff?
Pythagoras was my father. Things happened. Now it's mine.
Ah, that right? That makes us family. I knew the man well.
I heard. This way. Persephone's waiting.
Persephone herself? This is going to be easier than I thought.
Wait. What's going to be easier? All right, Kyros. Let's make this quick. You said this is going to be easier than you thought.
Since we're basically family, I'm trusting your honor. I work for Adonis.
But you were caged by humans.
Yes, and Hermes found out about it right around the time Persephone was coaxed into deciding she needs a bodyguard.
You staged the whole thing and you're using Hermes to infiltrate Persephone's lair? You're no simple warrior.
Before I met your father, I had 4 sons, each a warrior. When my third boy fell in battle, there was only guilt. I'd cried all my tears for the first two.
Go on.
And with the fourth, I felt longing. Sadness had become my only friend. And I had no one left to grieve. Warriors don't bring peace. They bring sorrow.
So by getting behind Persephone's defenses, you think you can prevent war? You could convince her to surrender or distract her while Adonis escapes.
Anything but battle. But before we go to Persephone, I have to send confirmation this plan worked. Will you take me?
Fine, but be quick. We need to go to Persephone and Hermes. They're waiting. You really think you can save lives?
I'm not sure how death works in Elysium, but suffering is eternal. And that is something I can stop.
Where have you been? No one keeps Persephone waiting.
It got complicated. We took a less direct route.
What matters, Hermes, is I'm freed thanks to you. When I go to my queen, I will make sure she's grateful to you for my service.
Explain it to Persephone. She's waiting.
I'll make sure she knows this was entirely my fault, not yours.
These are dark times for Elysium. Those delinquent fools have robbed even me.
What did they take?
I fashioned a key, a recipe if you will, for an eternal flame. I intended to gift it to Persephone. With it, she could shine her light, even in the underworld.
An eternal flame could bring order to this chaos.
You understand her burden better than you let on. By enduring her sacrifice, Persephone keeps us safe in the underworld.
So write the recipe again.
What I wrote took lifetimes. We can't let it stay in the hands of humans who would use it against her. Keep her. Kassandra, we have to steal it back.
You're a good man for wanting to protect Persephone. I'll help.
I thank you. You are quickly becoming my friend and ally.
An eternal flame sounds more like a myth than some simple recipe.
I began writing the recipe with your father. It's as real as the danger we'd face without it.
Why do you go to these lengths to save Persephone? She wouldn't do the same for you.
Since these humans started acting against her, she's been suffering. When she suffers, we all suffer.
Hermes, has it occurred to you she might just be using you?
Of course not. She simply needs someone to rely on. She needs me.
I'll find the rebels and get your recipe.
That's all I ask. If you are spotted or cause a commotion, we risk retaliation. Go unseen.
Hermes asked me to go unseen. I should try to stay away.
I'll kill you!
My gods! She fought like an animal. I see it. This looks like the scribbles of a madman.
We need to get the recipe back.
About that. Here it is.
You've spared this realm great suffering, my friend. I wonder, were you spotted?
Of course not. But Hermes...
Good. We don't risk retaliation.
I'm giving these torn pieces back, Hermes. But I'm trusting you. A flame that never dies could consume all of Elysium.
I swear to you as your friend. I will only use the flame if it's absolutely necessary.
Hermes, things are worse in Elysium than I've been letting on. The rebels are organized and ready to fight. War is coming.
We must crush the force behind the chaos. Let's fight for Persephone.
You're so worried about Persephone, you can't even see you're in just as much danger.
You kept the eternal flame out of the hands of the humans, and you went unseen. We have the upper hand. We just have to strike.
Calm yourself, Hermes. It's not like you're going to go on a rampage.
And why not? There are so-called captains guiding the human forces. They invited chaos into this realm, so let's show them chaos.
At least when you asked me to steal, it was from thieves. You're not a murderer, Hermes.
You made me look like a fool when I sent you to Kyros. But I can still come back from that, and prove my worth.
I told you, we were diverted.
It doesn't matter. Please, I'm begging you, my friend. Help me to help her.
Fine. I'll kill the captains.
Die, human! We did it! Now let's get out of here! It's been a long time since I had to use this blade, my friend.
Can't you see now that Persephone was never worth it?
What? But we did it. and I have you to thank.
You used me, just like Persephone's used you.
You're wrong.
I've tried to tell you, but you haven't listened. She doesn't love you.
You're wrong. She will love me, and I will always love her. I'll do anything, anything to prove that. Even killing you.
So it's come to this.
You're not a friend. You're an outsider. If you cross my path again, I will treat you the way Persephone treats outsiders.